Good day. We hear a lot of talk about why the Democrats are continually losing, why the Republicans seem to be continually winning. It's not just an easy one-word answer to that problem. The first and foremost is that the Democrats seem to be battling each other, even more so than Republicans. If you go onto whether it's any of the social medias, what do you see? You see Bernie people blaming Hillary people blaming Bernie people, and Jill people blaming both of them. So what do we really have now within the Democratic Party? Well, at the top of the list, you've got progressives. Now, progressives are people that have an ego and a value of themselves that are above anybody else on the planet. They think that everything they say is correct, and if you don't agree with them, if you're not a purist, then there's something wrong with you. Liberals, on the other hand, going down the ladder, liberals, on the other hand, they sort of see life the way they wish it would be, not the way it really is. So when it comes to realism, both liberals and progressives are way out of the ballpark. Continuing on down the ladder, you've got what we would now call the moderate Democrats, or the Clinton Democrats. The Clinton Democrats are really only about one step away from than the Eisenhower or the Nixon Republicans. They're majorly tied into the moneyed interests of Wall Street. Even Chuck Schumer, who some people feel is an absolute liberal, was one who voted continuously against any type of modernization of banks in Wall Street. I mean, after all, it's New York, and New York lives off of the banks in Wall Street. Continuing on, after we talk about that group of people, we have a scenario brewing where people are screaming that all politicians are no good. Well, to be perfectly blunt with you, don't know how many hands I would need to count the ones that I would trust with my wallet. Not that my wallet is that big, but that I would trust. I'm sure all of you have noticed every time you get any email or anything in the way of social media from any elected person, what is always attached? Hello, we want money. Oh, even when you unfriend, what do they say? Oh, before you go, will you give me money? Money, 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 money. Let me tell you about money, money, money. Money, money, money is bullshit. They should be telling me what they're going to do for my money, not that they need my money. But that's another story for another time. The other issue that I think is very, very important is the concept of our primary system. Right now, the primary system is a laughable joke. At the top of that, they've got these super delegates, which, forgive me for saying, is just crap. Nobody should get an automatic hello to become a delegate for anybody. So A, we get rid of the damn super delegates 100%. B, what's next important? No offense to the folks in Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi, Texas, and the rest of the Confederacy, which as far as I'm concerned is still the Confederacy. Why in the hell should they have an opportunity to pick the person running for the party's spot for the presidency when states like New York, Illinois, California don't? By the time the primaries get to California, the so-called momentum is already in force. No, the bottom line is it's very simple to fix. Very simple fix. The state that had more, or the most, I should say, Democratic votes should be the first primary in 2020. If California had a larger percentage of blue votes to red votes, guess what? They should have the first vote as far as the primary is concerned. And then New York, and then Illinois, in whatever order you'd like, as long as it's based on the prior presidential year's voting. That would make sense, and that's fair. Then once you finish all of the blue states, then you can play around with the purple states and let them get their 2 cents worth in. But the bottom line is really, once you finish those blue states, you're going to have your nominee. And honestly, it's a hell of a lot more important for the Democrats in California, in New York, in Illinois, to pick the president than the Democrats in South Carolina or Oklahoma or Mississippi or Alabama. No offense to those Democrats, but I don't really give a damn what they think. until after the Democrats in the larger states have their voice. So therefore, that should be the absolute first thing we do with our primary. Have those primaries in the order of the state's previous voting. Next, and probably most important, we also talk about term limits. Please give me a break. When you have senators, or let's talk about a representative in Michigan by the name of Dingell. I actually saw something that said that the Dingell family has been in the Congress since 1930. Hello? What the hell do they know about ordinary human beings? I dare say not a hell of a lot. Okay? We need term limits. And the best way to do term limits is very simple. We simply say that nobody can spend more than 12 total years in all federal offices combined. The only exception being if during that 12-year period, in whatever job it might be, they run for presidency, they then get an additional 8 years. But other than the additional 8 years, there is no possible way that anybody should spend 10, 20, 30, 40 years in Congress. And yes, that would go for Joe Biden. I love Joe and all that. But the bottom line is 12 years is more than enough. We don't need any more of that. So you put those pieces together, and what you find is a much fairer synopsis for the next election. Now, lastly, when we talk about the primaries, I do have to mention this because it's very important. Right now, Donald John Trump was nominated by the Republicans, and he won the presidency. I don't know what to say about that. But he won. He and he alone decided that he wanted that freak Pence as his vice president. No offense to that freak. And I love my wife very much, but you know what? I would have no difficulty having dinner or lunch or breakfast with a female friend without my wife being with me. Okay, if I said to my wife, sweetie, come keep me company while I have lunch with Jane, she'd laugh at me. But we're stuck with Pence. Well, luckily we're stuck with him not being president. So what am I saying? I'm saying very simply this. I got sidetracked. My wife always tells me I digress too much, so I digress. What am I saying? I'm saying I don't want any presidential nominee to decide who is going to be the vice president and possibly the next president. No, I want the people to make that decision. How do we do that? Very simple. We hold the same primaries that we are holding throughout the country. There's a first place finisher and a second place finisher. And guess what? That second place finisher is the vice presidential candidate. Hello? Now the people, not some backroom bullshit, picks the VP. The people said they like John Doe first and John Smith second, and that's the way it's going to be. And that's the way the ticket should run. Those are just a few of the things that I think we desperately need to do. Otherwise, we're going to be in this continuous cycle of total bullshit going on in Washington, where nothing is happening other than, war. Having said that, I hope you enjoyed this, and you'll be getting another one pretty quick. Take care, bye-bye. Oh, and don't forget, sign up to my podcast, sign up your friends, and spread the word. The truth is finally here. Bye-bye.